It is Mary.
And Amma?
And breaking news, you guys. Diddy has been sentenced to 50 months in jail, 50, you guys. That means he's been sentenced for
Yes.
about 4 years. He's already done, you said, what, a year or so in jail?
3. What he's done 1 year. He has been sentenced to 15 months, which is 4 years, 2 months. He has done 1 year, 1 month. He's done like 13 months. So he has 3 more years to go. About 3 more years to go. Yeah. And he's 55 now. He'll be out when he's 58 years old. And when we were talking earlier, I said that I thought it will be 10 years. And then when I saw the video montage, I said, shave off, because I mean, as much as I kind of felt, it kind of pricked my heart a little bit. It just did. I know I'm a sucker for stuff like that, but it did. And I said, okay, it seems as though maybe he'll get like 8 years, 7 to 8 years. And then there was another thing that pricked my heart. The daughters, the
Yeah.
children, got up and they spoke about their dad. All his children did. I felt like that made a difference. That, pricked my heart too. It just did, because it's like all the kids got up and spoke um, on behalf of their dad. They were boo-hoo crying. And right there I was like, okay, take off another 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So that brought it down to, I don't know, 7 to 8 years to another 2 to 3 years. That's 4 to 5 years. So yeah.
Yeah. But I do want to talk a little bit about.
But I am happy that he got something. I am happy he's going to be in jail for 3 years. I feel like he talks about redemption, that he's going to, do right and stuff like that, that this has been a learning experience, and that, he apologized. He said, the worst thing he did was doing stuff to someone that he loved, I guess talking about Cassie. Um, so I'm happy that he got some time, because in a sense, just like his children look up to him and his children love him, this is also a lesson for the children also to learn, that when you do things, there have been reports about stuff about one of his sons, Christian, and I think Justin, both of them, like trying to walk in their father's, sketchy footsteps. So this is kind of like a way to like pull them up, like
Nicki
don't
Minaj
go
just
down this way, because there are going to be repercussions for that. And
Right.
he can still do good stuff in jail. He says he wants to mentor people, abusers, and all that stuff. He can still do that stuff. I know he was very upset, but like the judge said, yeah, you feel bad, devastated, whatever, but you can still do some redemption right there in jail. And because you got to, the judge talked about, think about how like the victims felt,
Yeah.
and Cassie had to go through 11 years of it, 10 years of it. So think about how they felt.
Nicki
So
Minaj just
Yeah.
he was going to do some time. He was not going to get what the defense wanted, which was for Diddy to walk away today or just do an extra month, because the defense was asking for 14 months. Diddy had already done 13 months. So I guess they wanted for the judge to say, okay, well, you only have 1 month to go. I'm going to let you go the month you can do, under house arrest. I guess that's what the defense was hoping for, but the judge was just like, no, you're going to be there for 3 years. And I think this also, hopefully, this will be a deterring factor for anyone out there who wants to be engaging in free calls, that this can happen to you, especially if you're doing it where it's not about having a free call. Between consenting adults, you all can do whatever you want. It's about the coercion, it's about the drugging, it's about the forcing, it's about the domestic violence, the violence, forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do that day or any day,
Right.
even if they did it the day before willingly. But this day they don't want to do it. You can't beat them. You can't drag them like you did with to Cassie at that hotel. You can't do that. It's wrong.
Right.
And one incident of that is devastating to someone. You know, when R happens, because that's what it is. It is R in that instant. It is SA in that instant, and just one episode of that can render someone's whole life traumatic.
Yeah.
And not talking about time and time and time, which I believe what Cassie said that it happened on numerous occasions. So he, hopefully this will be a turning point for him and he's able to do some good. I am sure it's going to do some good in his son's lives, especially. Um, if they're going down that road to righten their ship,
Right.
that it's not worth it. But so yeah, hopefully Cassie can get um some kind of peace tonight, knowing that he's not out tonight,
Yeah.
and all the other victims out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I did want to talk a little bit about what the judge said. The judge did come out, I
Sure.
like after he had done the sentencing, he said, "I want to speak to the strong women who came forward, Miss Ventura and Jane. You've been through trauma we can't imagine." Miss Ventura said it was forced sex and degradation. "I want to say we heard you. You weren't just speaking to
Mm,
the jurors, but to other victims. You stood up to power.
yeah.
It's not easy. Violence behind closed
Yeah.
doors doesn't have to stay secret forever. I know you still bear
Yeah.
trauma, but you've taught us you don't have to stay a victim," which I think
Yes.
was really good that he
That's
spoke
very
to the judge.
powerful.
The judge even also did state, he did also state that he just felt like, he says the sentence over 11 years was not reasonable, but 14 months for time served isn't enough time either. So I
Right.
think that he will, like, even though he had gotten off on lesser charges, he had gotten off of the
Hmm.
bigger charges. There were lesser charges that
Hmm.
were also atrocious. And you also, if you were in that courtroom or if you heard and you listened closely to what those women went through, you can't sit down idly by and be like, "Oh yeah, he should be going home scot free." No, he's a monster. I mean, the man even talked about like
Right.
how Diddy had punched Jane in the head and then told her to
Mm,
go get fellatio, and he said, "You forced
mm,
her to do that." And he's like, um stuff
mhm.
like that, I can't say without a shadow of a doubt that that's never going to happen again, because it's horrible that you did this to people that you loved, because you think you would
Exactly.
that you wouldn't do this to people that you love. You wouldn't really do this to a
Exactly.
stranger on the street, but you definitely wouldn't shouldn't do it to somebody that you love or supposedly say that you love.
Exactly.
So the judge was like,
Exactly.
"I can't be assured that you have changed." And on top of that,
Yeah.
he has been so bold. And apparently, the I think the prosecutors had come out with information that Diddy had booked speaking gigs in Miami for next week. Like,
I know. I
he
mean, he
really
just the
brazen.
hubris to think that, yeah, yeah, the hubris it took, like just that cockiness, like, yeah, I'm gonna be out, I'm gonna be speaking, yeah, I'm gonna be there, judge, and then you're boohoo crying. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a lesson, and when you do something wrong, you just take your medicine, take your treatment, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's enough time for you to get some kind of learn some things and correct, and hopefully he does that. But I'm so happy for I am very happy for Cassie, and like the judge said, for victims out there, because she did stand up to power. When she first came out and said this happened to her, people were so against everything, even though the video was there. Well, the video wasn't there at the time, and he was denying it, and people just believed him.
But
And then the video came out, and all of a sudden he had the apology. So it's kind of like he waits, waits, waits. And I think also the judges think about that. You wait, wait, wait until the rubber meets the road and you got to confess, and then here you come. So it's like, I can't be sure that this is not a little stuff that you're doing now with your video montage. That was very moving. It was very moving. And then having all the children, I think having all the kids, because you see, if he had all those children and one child had not spoken on his behalf, that in itself would have been like, giving you cause to pause, right? But all
right.
of them spoke on his behalf. So I think that really moved the needle a bit for him. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, personally, 4 years, I mean, that's great, but I wish it would have been at least 7 years, 'cause I just feel like 4 years are going to
Yeah.
go by so quickly. I feel like for his crimes that he has committed, people who are going to have trauma for years and years on end, I feel like
Yeah.
11
I
years would have
think
been
also he was the
great, but
first
I think,
time
at,
offender. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it would have been, yeah, 7 would have been fine. Um I think also that I said something wrong the last time. I said it was the probation court had said, because usually the judge goes by what the probation court decides. I thought the probation court is the one that was recommending the 135 months, but it wasn't. The probation court actually recommended, I think, 50 to 70 months. Um, and so the judge went on the lower end, the 50 months. And that, I think, the children moved him. I do think so. I think probably the video moved him. Maybe the video did, but the children definitely moved the judge. I think so.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too. But, it just, to me, I just feel like even if it did, I just feel like, the fact that you do all this stuff and you have so many daughters is just very sickening and it's very alarming. Like, I would be worried for him to be out for his
It's very
children's sake,
alarming.
especially with
Yeah.
Christian coming out and saying that he's his dad's twin and he admires his dad and he's a superhero and da da da. I'm like, ugh, God. You're like, I can only, I mean, that's their dad at the end of the day, but the thing is
Well,
also,
hopefully he
like,
ain't trying to
their
follow the
mom.
dad in this.
Yeah, but
Hopefully
the
he's not
thing,
trying to follow the dad. Hopefully this will stop him in the tracks. Let me not twin with my dad where this is concerned.
yeah.
But
But the
yeah.
twins and Christian Combs, their mother is dead, so I can see why they're clinging
Mhm.
onto the no good father. Um, but
That's the only
when
child.
that's all
Yeah, the
you
only
have,
parent
I
they
mean,
have. Yeah.
yeah. So I can see
Yeah.
why, but I don't know. I still think he's a monster. I just feel like
Mhm.
there's there's just something ain't right there. But yeah, Diddy has been
Mhm.
sentenced to 50 months. I am happy that he
Yes.
got some time. I wish it was more time,
Yeah.
but I think the judge really wanted the victims to know that you were heard. I know it's not like a crap ton of time, but at least
Mhm.
he is getting some time and he's not going to be skipping out of here today. So I'm happy
And then
about
the
that.
other thing too, the judge probably is thinking, you know, um, some people were talking about the possibility of Trump um pardoning Diddy.
He's not
This
doing that
way,
because Trump
Diddy
came
is
out and
still in jail. This way, Diddy is still in jail through Trump's presidency. So I don't see Trump trying to pardon him at all because, well, you only got 3 more years. Stay your 3 years, that kind of
Trump
thing.
Trump actually had already come out to say that he probably was not going to pardon him because he was like, me and Diddy were friends or whatever stuff. But then I became president, and he said some really nasty things, and he was no longer a fan of mine.
Oh,
So, I don't really know about that, but I wish him luck. So Trump already came out on, I think, on one of the shows and said he
oh,
basically wasn't going to be pardoning him because Diddy came out and was talking crap
oh,
about him when he became president. So,
oh,
thank
I
God.
did not know that. I didn't even know that he had said so. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, that is the news.
Yes, y'all. But comment down below and tell
All
us what you
right.
guys think of this, you guys.
I certainly wish Cassie the best. All these women who were strong enough, all the victims, men, women who came out and like spoke their truth, stood up for themselves. And Cassie, continue to work on yourself, continue to do your therapy. I mean, she really showed like there is life after abuse.
Yeah, for
You just
sure.
gotta look, you gotta I mean, it's God that gets us out of these things. It's really God that redeems. It's really God that heals. It's really God that will resurrect, that peace, our soul again when we have just been stumped on the way Diddy just tried to rubbish her completely. Through God's grace, it's like she found someone or someone found her that loves her, able to have her children. And now tonight she can take a breath. It's like I can breathe now. Take a full breath tonight because tonight he is still in that jail
Yeah.
and he's going to be there for a little while.
Yeah, because he has been way too brazen throughout this whole entire thing, just thinking he's going to be getting out of jail and like
Yeah.
basically insisting. And then, I mean, like trying to get a new trial because he knew the judge was not going to be lenient on you. So he tried to do any and everything so you could get a new trial and all this stuff. And I'm sure
Mm.
he's going to try to find ways to get out earlier, but he
Right.
really
You
has
see,
been very
because the
ballsy.
time is not that much, he has to, he's gonna have to stay there the whole entire time. So the time is not the time is not much, but I feel as though it's an effective time. It's effective time. It's another 3 years. You gotta go sit in the jail. Like he was saying, he's like, the water isn't clean. There's only one toilet. I think for 25 years, the conditions are not humane. For someone like Diddy, who has been living that, wealthy life and all that, it's not easy to be in that situation. Hopefully, it's enough time for him to truly do what he says he's going to do. We'll see.
I'm sure he's gonna be
But
pissed as
tonight,
hell for the next year or so. Cause for him, the way
yeah,
he's been acting
absolutely.
as if he's been in jail for far too long. So the fact that he's there for another four
Yeah,
years, I'm sure he's very pissed. So I'm
another
sure
three
he's
years.
gonna be
Yeah.
mad for at least the next year or two. We're gonna see more
Yeah, they said
of
he
him
was
trying to get out
crying.
of
They said
jail
he
for
was
sure.
sobbing. Yeah.
But I think he's gonna be mad for the next year or two. But I feel like I don't know.
He
He
wasn't
might settle.
expecting this. He certainly was not expecting this. Maybe he was thinking house arrest. He wasn't expecting this. Him and his attorneys were not expecting this. But you do the crime, you got to do the time, and you just got to take it like a man. I mean, you've been giving it like a sucker, you've been giving it like a monster. Well, now you got to take your medicine like a man. You just got to take your medicine, and that's it. And hopefully, it's enough to self-correct. We'll see.
Yeah. But it's
But
Mary.
today, the victims take a breath. And Amma,
Yes, y'all. So we want to just say, congrats to the victims and that we pray that you guys find healing in this and we hope that this is hopefully enough time. Hopefully this will put your hearts at ease. But it is Mary,
mhm, and Amma.
and we will see you guys
And
on the
don't
next
forget to
video.
subscribe.
Yes, like, share,
Bye.
subscribe, and comment. Bye.